Hello everyone, this is the Prussian Prince with a Total War Attila tournament match cast, and this is the TWCL Autumn 2015 tournament, Group D match between myself and Mince of USSR. In this first game, I've chosen to be the Burgundians and he is the Saxons. So let's see how this one is going to actually play out. Should be interesting. Let's hit slow motion as I'm gonna go over the builds. So here we have my build. Let's see what I have. I have the Royal Burgundian General with a brace on it. Up front I have an interesting composition. I believe I have 5 Germanic archers and a single Germanic bow unit. Indeed, that is the case. Then behind those, I have a bunch of Royal Lancers, I believe 6 Royal Lancers. Last but not least, I have 6 Burgundian Axemen. It's just one massive line of good units. All of these units are actually very cost effective and very strong, in my opinion at least. 6 Royal Lancers, 6 Burgundian Axemen, and then Germanic Archers. Very cool. Now for my opponent, Mince. Let's see what he's brought here as the Saxons. Well, the Saxons have the Nordic Warlord General with no abilities, so I suppose he actually forgot to give an ability to his general. Then we have, let's see, up front, 4 Nordic Hurlers, supported by a Nordic Pikeman. His melee contingent is, let's see, 4 Nordic Warriors in the center. Then we have what seems to be a Nordic Spearman on each flank, and in the back we have 2 Nordic Axe Warriors, bronze 1, supporting his general, that is. In terms of his cavalry contingent, well, it's actually 6 Heroic Cav, bronze 1, which are definitely better than Nordic Horse Lords, but the thing is they are not that much better, and they're still going to get destroyed by the Royal Lancers on the charge, if I can get the charges off, that is. Anyway, let's hit play and watch this engagement occur. But again, in terms of skirmishing, I win. In terms of infantry, I win. And in terms of cavalry, I also win. So, yeah, like, he doesn't really have an advantage this game, unless... I guess he has a slight advantage in terms of number of infantry units, because I have 6 melee infantry. He has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those, 9 if you count the general. So 6 versus 9, I mean, it's, yes, 3 more, but I mean, can you really count these Nordic Spearmen melee infantry? They're just not going to do very well at all in actual combat. But yeah, let's hit fast forward, and as you can see, I am going to be using precision shot here, targeting his Nordic pikemen. And here's the thing in this game, there's actually an overshooting mechanic, so even though I'm targeting this Nordic pikeman, I'm also killing a lot of these Nordic hurlers because of the overshooting. So this is something important to keep in mind here. So I'm just killing a lot of these Nordic pikes, and I mean, this Nordic pikeman is annoying for my Royal Lancers, and it is annoying for my Burgundian Axemen, and it doesn't take a lot of ammo to kill it off. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm trying to do right now. You can see not just his Nordic pikes, but his Nordic hurlers taking an insane amount of damage right now. He's going to be moving up, but as he moves up, he's gonna take extra damage. This Germanic bow here is... well, I wish I could click on it and see its range, but I can't. But as you can see, it's actually not in range right now. It should be soon enough, though. It's gonna get in range. Yeah, the range on these guys is not great. But anyway, you can see right now, I have basically destroyed this Nordic pike unit. I've done damage to even Nordic warriors here. So I'm very happy about the way the engagement has gone for me so far. He's lost a lot of Nordic hurlers just to shots. And here, I'm gonna get some shots off into his units, into his axis here, which is fairly important. Also killing off his spikes. And now here comes the massive engagement. I'm getting the Royal Lancer charges off. Actually, all of my Royal Lancers get their charges off, and he charged the rear of his own Nordic Spearman. So not only do I get a charge onto his Heroic Cavalry, decimating it, but also doing a lot of damage to his Nordic Spearman. And now there's going to be a huge follow-up for me, as you can see here. The Burgundian Axemen are all coming into the fight over here. They're going to start destroying his cavalry. Here again, I hate how units get stuck for a while. It's not great. My Royal Lancers starting to lose the melee engagement, but my Burgundian Axemen going in. You can see here it's going just extremely in my favor. I'm also targeting his general right now with heavy shot with all my Germanic archers and bows. So he's going to be taking a significant amount of damage here. I'm now pulling out my cavalry because it is still alive, the 2 Royal Lancers, whereas my Burgundian Axemen are just chopping down his Nordic warriors. The Nordic warriors are not going to have a good time at all against the Burgundian Axemen. Here you can see that his general is finally starting to drop to my archer fire. They are starting to do their damage. As I continue doing more and more damage to his general, my axes are starting to clear things up. As you can see, I've clearly won on the right flank. And I've got more Royal Lancers that I can send around. My general has gone straight into his hurlers. Here, the Royal Lancers, I got to charge off into the Nordic Spearmen. I see his general is coming around, so I'm just going to disengage with the Royal Lancers. I'm sending my general, okay, perhaps this move is not amazing. Well, it's not great anyway, it's pretty bad because I could be losing my general here, and this is what could lose me the game right now. But as you can see, his cavalry is just getting demolished by my axes and my Royal Lancers alike. And now he's gonna get a decent charge off into my Burgundian Axemen here. That is for certain, but my Burgundian general is still alive though. As you can see, these hurlers are doing a lot of damage to my Royal Burgundian general. They are not to be underestimated. And here my Royal Lancers pulling out of the fight after killing the Nordic warriors. I'm gonna get some rear charges off, and his general is soon to be off the field here. Nordic warlord general basically gone off the field, and that is going to be the first game of this series. Let's just fast forward, as he's got this Nordic Spearman just left right now, and it is routed off the field. So let's look at the statistics. Well, as you can see here, in terms of kills, Royal Lancers did not get too many kills, but they did what needed to be done in the beginning, which is make sure that his cavalry gets stuck on my Royal Lancers. And then the follow-up is with the Burgundian Axemen. As you can see, since the Burgundian Axemen did not really get charged, they were able to become insanely cost-effective against the Nordic Axe Warriors and his Nordic Warriors. As you can see, most of his Nordic Warriors did not get many kills whatsoever, whereas my Burgundian Axemen did a lot of damage. And the Germanic Archers and Germanic Bows also did a lot of work in this game. They killed off just a ton of his, not only did they kill off the pike unit, which was actually important, otherwise I could not have charged all my Royal Lancers as I did in the center. They also did damage to his axes beforehand, and I believe, yeah, I was also targeting his Nordic Warlord, which I suppose could have been important in the game, but it was not. But anyway, that is the first game, so I shall see you in game number 2. This is the second game of the match between me and Mince. I'm playing as the Jutes, and Mince is playing as the Ostrogoths. So this should definitely be an interesting game. I'm going to hit the slow motion. And let's see. My build. Well, you are obviously used to it, I guess. Nordic Raid Leader, Bronze 1 with Brace, then 3 Royal, actually, I mixed it up this time around. 3 Nordic Horse Lords on the right, 3 Nordic Horse Lords on the left. Then I have, let's see, a bunch of Nordic Hurlers, 4 in the center, and then 1 on each flank, so 6 in total. I have on the right 2 Royal Huscarls with a Huscarl, and on the left 2 Royal Huscarls with a Huscarl. That is essentially my composition now for Mince, my opponent, who is playing as the Ostrogoths. Let's see. Royal Siona's general with the Warcry ability. Then he has 6 Noble Germanic Horsemen in total. Not a bad choice at all. These guys are very tanky. They're all bronze 1. He also has 4 Germanic Hurlers, all in loose formation. Up front we see 2 Noble Germanic Swordsmen, followed up by 3 Gothic Warband, and last but not least 2 Thracian Oathsworn. So these guys can potentially do a load of damage to, yeah, they can do a load of damage to these to my units, these Thracian Oathsworns. So I have to be really careful about them. But we will see. We will see. Looks like he is now in range. I'm gonna move up my hurlers. I don't want to shoot his hurlers though. I want to see if I can target his Gothic Warband, but for some reason I'm targeting Noble Germanic Swordsman. Bad idea. These guys, decent missile block chance and armor. I should really be targeting the Gothic Warband right now, so that is a mistake on my part. But if I can make his units shoot my hurlers, that's not a bad deal at all. So here, looks like I stopped his Noble Germanic Swordsman. Unfortunately, I messed up the speed of my own cav with my hurlers, but here I come in with the Horse Lords into both of his infantry units here. These guys are not in shield wall, so they're going to take a lot of damage on the charge. Gothic Warband basically almost done already. Here I'm just going to be defending against him, whereas on my left I'm pushing in with the Huskarls. I got into these Noble Germanic Swordsmen. Already his Gothic Warband are dead here, and now I'm sending in my Huskarls to come in. I'm clearly winning against this as well, my Royal Huskarls and Nordic Horse Lords in the fight. Pulling out my Nordic Horse Lords from there. You can see the engagement starting over here. He actually has his support in first, but I'm going to rapid advance my Huskarls here. As you can see, I've got the Nordic Hurlers here targeting his Royal Sionis General. I want to make sure that he takes as much damage and he's slowed down as much as possible from rear charging me. Here, as you can see, I've got my general also into the fight, and I'm activating Brace, I believe, or maybe I already did. But here, these Huskarls are not going to do great, but I believe I used Frenzy. I don't remember though. Anyway, my hurlers here are starting to die to the Royal Sionis, but I'm throwing a lot into this Royal Sionis and I'm stopping it. I've got more cavalry in here, which is tanking against his Noble Germanic Horsemen, but there's no way he wins this engagement. I've just got too many Huskarls on the field. I'm breaking through with this Nordic Horse Lord against his slingers. Though my Nordic Horse Lord is taking a lot of damage from these slingers, it's dying actually very quickly to these slingers. In fact, it's basically almost dead to the slingers. But over here, as you can see, my Huskarls are just doing a huge amount of work here. I'm also destroying this Gothic Warband. That looks like it came back. Here, I got my Nordic Horse Lords into his Royal Sionis, and now I continue to fire with my slingers. I'm pulling back my slingers from here. And I've got more Nordic Horse Lords that are going to come in and get into his hurlers. Here, it looks like I'm going to be engaging this Noble Germanic Horseman, but I'm pushing through my left very, very quickly right now. He's going to disengage against my headhunted Nordic Horse Lords, and here, this is not going to be great for me, but I noticed this, and I'm going to pull out the Nordic Horse Lord, going to go straight for his Royal Sionis, and it looks like I got him stuck. Though, over here, as you can see, my Huskarls are starting to die to the Noble Germanic Horsemen and the Thracian Oathsworns. I've also been broken on this side, but I think this does not look like how the game actually went, but I think part of it is, at least is normal. Like here, I don't think I got a clear charge off without him responding, so probably wrong here. But I did win pretty decisively on my left, that is what I remember. And here his horses are not going to do enough. I've still got my Horse Lords against his Royal Sionis, that's going to go pretty easily for me. Here I'm clearly not pulling through, it's just weird what's happening in this game. So yeah, it is clearly, the replays are clearly bugged. But yeah, the Royal Sionis General now, it looks like it's going to just die to these slinger shots. And let's see, because I don't really know what is happening here. This is very, very odd. I'm confused. I am extremely confused. So, Pyrrhic victory for me, and this is going to be a 2-0. As you can see, Huskarls doing a lot of work here, as did the Hurlers and, of course, the Nordic Horse Lords, and my general. But yeah, that is game and match. So, I went 2-0. I gained 2 points in this group of death, as it is Group D of the TWCL Autumn 2015. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. If you want to see more, don't forget to comment or subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Share the video, and I'll see you next time.